George saunters into Jerry's apartment, his face utterly blank. He stands at the entrance's threshold, motionless. He does not close the door. He does not move. Jerry is reading a book. All of the book's pages are blank. The cover is featureless. He looks up from the book and at George. "What's the matter?" asks Jerry. "Have you regressed to infancy?" There are several seconds of silence. "Answer my question," insists Jerry solemnly. Jerry jumps over the couch and comes within inches of George's face, locking eyes with him. "I'm in a dark place," replies George. The audience laughs. Jerry goes to the refrigerator and opens it while George continues to stand immobile. The refrigerator's light is broken. Dimly the audience can make out jar after jar of small, solid, malleable black objects. Jerry slams the door and utters a vulgar expletive which is not censored. He then yells at George to sit down and make himself comfortable, or else. George shuts the door behind him and complies hastily. Kramer bursts into the apartment. He's covered in filth. Flies swarm about him. His smile is broad and unwavering. He has a lazy eye. He starts to laugh. First a quiet chuckle, then a hearty giggle, then full-on gut-busting raucous laughter. Jerry shouts, "Enough! Kramer, at least take a shower before you come in here like that." "There's no more water," yells Kramer, still grinning. "There hasn't been any water for years." The audience laughs for about 30 seconds. "Ah, okay," sighs Jerry, surrendering to his eccentric neighbor's wonky antics. The camera pans back over to George. He appears to be made of plastic. Elaine is now in the room. Elaine talks about how Putty has been mistreating her again. Jerry asks her why her nose is bleeding. "Allergies," she replies. George asks if any of them believe in God. There is a long silence. Elaine breaks it. "Yes, I'd like to think that we're not alone in the universe." Kramer laughs. A couple of leeches are stuck to him. Newman arrives with the mail. He smiles and bids them a good rest of their day. Faint, muffled screams can be heard. Their source is unclear. "Oh, Jerry." George starts rocking back and forth in his chair. "I don't know what... He trails off. He curls up into a fetal position and buries his head in his knees. The audience howls with laughter. The laughter will not stop. Dialogue continues, but it cannot be made out due to the ear-splitting chorus of the audience's mirth. They may not be speaking English anymore. The lights in the apartment go out. Larry David walks onto the set carrying a lantern. He appears uncomfortable. Perhaps his clothes are chafing him. Scratching his head uneasily, he begins a series of disjointed ramblings that vaguely allude to some grand conspiracy that stretches through all the known millennia. He says something about the sins of his fathers. As his monologue wears on, his speech becomes increasingly slurred, his words even more difficult to make out. The light of the lantern goes out. There is a twinkle in the eyes of every cast member. A low, guttural moan can be heard somewhere far off. Everyone on screen is looking into the camera. They are begging and pleading with you. Will you answer their cries?